Hello, everyone. Nice to be back here to one more episode. In last time, we were talking about dreams and, let's say, dream hygiene. So ways to protect um, before we go to dream work, to protect that time, and then to getting into the realms, whatever realms we're going to, in a safe way. And we wanted to get back to that and explore a little deeper this topic.
So we're talking about the different flavors of dream spaces, right?
Exactly.
So what are different dream spaces anyway?
Well, that's a very good question. Because there can be a lot, right?
There can be. I feel like there is a lot. Um right right off the bat I can think of we've got our personal dream spaces where maybe things that we're working on specifically personal to us would be present.
Hmm.
And then you've got maybe the collective dream space where you just go to sleep and wake up and find yourself in the middle of
Of a soup.
That's a great way to put it. All the
'Cause-
things that have nothing to do with you. What
yeah, because,
else?
whenever we think about dreams, uh, we think about subconscious work,
Mhm.
right? Most of the time. And there's a lot of people that are healers that are specialized, so to speak, on interpreting dream time,
Mm.
and we can actually find a lot of answers about whatever is going on in our lives. I know that that was the case for me many times when I was living through um, tough times in my life, and then I was asking for guidance, and this was before I was more connected to, let's say, a direct communication with my higher self,
Yeah.
and I would be guided by my dreams. And it was mainly back then subconscious dreams. So maybe that's one realm, right? The realm of subconscious dreams and all the things that we're experiencing there, the symbols, sometimes, the colors, the situations, the metaphors that are being explored in that realm have a specific feeling.
Mhm.
Then we have other kinds of dream. And the more I kept, for example, in my own personal path, the more I kept going deeper and deeper into the lucid dreaming and the dream exploring, I started to realize that there were so many different feelings
Mm.
to dreams. And so, those, when it feels different, so maybe there are, different realms, different spaces, so to speak. um how do you live that in your dreaming world?
I think that the way I think it really depends on what intention that you set before you take off to that space. I think that if you're setting the intention of more connecting to your higher self, and I know a lot of the times, I'll just ask, What do I need to know? What do I need to see? Where do I need to go um, to work on? What's in the top priority? What's in my highest and best good right now? And then see where you get taken and know that you asked to be taken there. So that kind of helps engage your senses, right?
Absolutely.
So when you're
But
there, you're like, okay, now what am I feeling? What am I seeing?
exactly. So how do you realize it's different? When you wake up, and how can you say, okay, I think that dream was more connected to my subconscious mind. That dream was more of a travel.
Mm,
That dream maybe was premonitory. That dream was maybe training in a cosmic realm and dimension.
mm.
Because I know that I could have one of those too.
What would that feel like?
It felt like for example, here, our bodies, we can feel our weight, right? We have sensations in our bodies. We have sensation related to touch, to hearing, and to all these different feelings and emotions. And sometimes uh, those feelings change in a way that they're different from whatever we can experience in this physical body.
Would you take that as a sign or as a reflection of where you traveled to in the dream? So if you were experiencing, let's say, gravity differently in a
Yeah.
dream, would you take that as a indication that you were somewhere where gravity was different?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because, if I know that when I am dreaming uh, anything connected to my subconscious mind, it will feel more earthy.
Mm,
I mean, it can be weird because we all have like these weird dreams, right? Like people that appear in weird situations or funny stuff that happen, or I don't know. So that's just the way our brain is using, in my opinion, symbols
mhm.
and metaphors to communicate things that will not be just said as in a text by someone. So it's using all these images and things to communicate differently, but it does still feel earthy.
Mhm.
Like it's not different from whatever can exist in this planet, if not only for except for the weird parts of the dreams. But whenever I'm in different realms, the feelings change. And I know that I had uh travels in dream time where I was, like, for example, above the planet, above earth, and I was just light, so I didn't even have a body.
Mm,
And I had my higher self talking to me and showing me things that were being projected. The times I would literally see a portal and cross it and end up somewhere else. So
mhm.
these dreams, I know them were in different realms, because any of these things are connected to anything that my subconscious could actually live within that physical reality.
Yeah. What do you do with that? So you
I
so you go there, you have the experience, you enter this dream space with all these different sensations and feelings. What does that mean for you?
I just, well, when I'm there, it's normal. It just feels normal. When I come back, it's like mind blowing. Like just like, what the heck just happened here? um, those often happens when you were saying about asking, um, setting up intentions. So those
Mm,
ones often happen when I do set up intentions
yeah.
and I'm searching for answers, or even when I'm not setting up intentions specifically to dream time, but imagine a question I've been asking my guides or my higher self very often, and I didn't get any clear answer here,
Yeah.
within my physical body and brain. So I go to dream time and I have this wild experience, and then there it is, my answer. They just give it to me differently. But there are also other kinds of realms. I also realize that dreams can be very much used for training, like spiritual training.
Absolutely.
Did you already have one of those?
Yeah, sure. I think those are probably my favorite.
Oh, nice. How did they appear to you?
Because it's just so interesting, right? Because it's like you have the awareness where you know that it's like an extra special place so that maybe you can explore extra special things, whether
Yeah.
it's defying physical strength or maybe just using your imagination, like engaging with your imagination just to see what you can imagine and how you would react to what you're imagining. Like bending the space around you, all of a sudden
Ooh.
changing your size where you go from,
Already done this?
average size to very, very big or very, very small.
I mean, you could literally change your form in dream time.
Sure.
That happened to you.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I remember though, that space that the training space, we'll call it. I
Hmm.
used to have this recurring dream of shooting up very, very quickly into the sky and
Hmm.
then falling from very, very, very high height. And I actually have challenges with heights, not in dream space. So the more I kept having this reoccurring dream, and I'm telling you, like, when you're maybe driving on high hills and like you have that fluctuation in your stomach area from, going up high and coming down low, maybe on, those
Yeah.
carnival rides and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would feel the sensation of when you're high up and then how it feels, to fall from being that height. And it took years of having this dream where I could finally catch myself when I was high up saying, okay, now you know what's going to happen from here. You know what it's going to feel like. Go with it, flow with it instead of fighting it and slipping into maybe a place of fear, like feeling, oh no,
Um,
I'm falling. Just be like, okay, I went up. Now I'm going to come down. And I know what that's going to feel like. And I don't have to be afraid of what it's going to feel like. And then it totally changed the alchemy and the interaction and the exchange um, in this dream, and not just in this dream, but I took that with me when I wasn't dreaming and maybe w- was a little bit more engaged with heights
Mm-hmm.
in a different way.
It's this is what I was going to ask you. How would you relate that? Because this is clearly an example of training, right? I mean, the dream was, reoccurring. You started feeling a certain way, and then it evolved throughout, the many times that you had it. How would you relate um, whatever you learned there to your daily life? And how do you think it can be connected generally when we have these kinds of dreams?
For me, a lot of the training correlated to me working through what my subconscious was saying was the scariest moments of something that could happen to me. And instead of resisting my action from there,
Hmm.
once the fear sets in, then there's basically lack of action, right?
Yeah.
Either if you're dreaming, you wake yourself up. There's just so much resistance. Instead, the training was staying with the moment that I consider a scary moment, a fearful moment,
Yeah.
and conquering my fears so that I can move into a different space, a different headspace, a different sense space where I'm sensing the experience and my level of power and engagement with it differently. So, for me, the dreaming was definitely a vital tool because it gave me the space of exploring. And it took a lot of time. Some things took longer than others, but really being able to conquer my fear so that I could engage with the experience in a more empowered way. So, in that sense, that's how it helped me in my daily life, in my awake life, is helped me, it gave me the space to move through fear to
Hmm.
empowerment.
That's beautiful. That actually makes me think about one of the flying dreams that I
Mm,
had. That was I think also training on that level. Um, I just remember I was in the sky and I saw a beautiful landscape with mountains and green grass and curves and it was a beautiful landscape, and I just saw it down below me, and I started to fall,
mm,
and it was like in a free fall, and I wasn't scared, but I didn't know what to do, and I was a bit resisting to whatever was going on because if I somehow knew that it was not regular life, so to speak,
mhm,
so I wasn't necessarily afraid to die, but I felt an end if I just crashed on the ground. So I just hear a voice that said to me, let yourself be taken by the wind.
mm.
And there I surrender. And the second I surrender, I start to fly like, like Superman flies.
Yeah.
And I was not controlling, but I was being taken and flying very close. to the ground, and sometimes passing in between mountains and beautiful places. And then I land slowly and very elegantly on the ground. And I look around me, and there's three or four people running to me uh, to find me and say something, but I woke up there.
Oh.
And I had no idea where I was, and the only thing that I knew that I felt is that I was just about to start a journey.
Mm.
So what I
S
took out from that training space was, of course, the surrender part of it, and the trust
Yeah,
in the unknown.
yeah,
And these experiences, because we're part of it when we have it in dream time, they're so much more powerful than just something that we saw somewhere
yeah,
or that we read, or because we're part of it, right?
absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and it's so beautiful, what you shared about the surrender
Hmm.
and the trust, and how that was your crossing over
From
from
falling and
from the
crashing.
falling and crashing to a completely new space, and it's just that's the beautiful thing about actively engaging with the dream space, because there's so much potential there.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so much potential.
So how do we tap in, how do you tap into that potential? How can we um direct an intention to either, I'm gonna sleep and I'm in bed, and I'm wishing to learn while I will be in dream time
Mhm,
during my sleep. So what should we do? I mean, I personally like to work with crystals, and I know there's a lot of different tools. We can also use no tool whatsoever, and still, I mean, tools are not a condition um, to dive into some, into a deeper experience. But we do know that we have to. There are certain things that we should think of before we consciously and intentionally choose to work with Dreamtime, um, to spiritual um, learning and evolution. So, we were talking last time about how to create a safe space before we get there.
mhm.
Um, what are your practices, for example?
I actually, try to keep the practice very simple, in the sense of, because a lot of the times you've worked all day. I mean, let's face it, you've lived a day when you go to lay down, and essentially ask yourself to live some more.
Yeah.
So, I try to keep it very simple. And for me, I think that relaxing the body is very helpful. The way I do that is right there in bed. I am laying down in bed and I just pull my knees up to my chest
Hmm.
and I actively just focus on my breath. I don't have a elaborate breathing exercise,
Hmm.
but I just let it be. kind of all I can feel and hear in the moment. So it's like everything else gets tuned out, and you're just there with your body and you're just there with your breath.
Yeah.
With your knees pulled up to your chest, I let my hips relax because that is your midpoint. So once that relaxes, then it naturally relaxes your upper half and your lower half. And then maybe extend your legs, stretch everything out, and just lay there just for a moment with your breath. And I know it sounds simple, but there's something magically happening there, where you're taking that moment to really connect to yourself. And then you can use your intuition from there. I will bring certain crystals to bed with me if I'm doing specific work.
100%. I do that all the time too.
Yeah,
100%. I mean, the different crystals have different energies.
absolutely. And they
And
can assist with different things.
yeah, yeah, yes. In whatever work we're willing to do, we can ask for their assistance and, you know, to be developed and within their energies and their consciousness to connect to us. And the way I do it, I always, when I pick one, I spend a few moments with whatever crystal that I chose.
Mhm.
I put it on my chest. I put
Yeah.
my hand on my chest, and I just I breathe for a little while. I put flames and bubbles of light of protection around my body. Sometimes
Mm.
I call for elemental friends such as dragons, or really like to ask the protection of the dragons when I go to dream time.
Mhm.
And also, I like to, after I did all the, let's say, protection ritual, um, I set up the intention and I repeat it a few times in my mind. And I just go into relaxation and try to fall asleep while I'm feeling whatever I'm setting as intention
Mm.
and repeating, and I try to fall asleep in that.
Yes.
And this is when it works the best, actually, for me at least.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. And I think, that's why as a mom, like, I like to be the last one to bed only because that way I can guarantee that once I set all of my little magic up and I'm in my good space, set my intention, protection and shielding is activated.
Hmm.
Um, if I'm not working with a specific crystal, I always, always, always have selenite with me. I have a palm stone of selenite,
Hmm.
and that really helps ease all the electricity in my body that I've been carrying around all day.
Hmm.
It's very grounding and soothing to my nervous system. Uh,
Oh, so this is your dream stone. This is your
it
favorite dreams.
really is. It is.
You know what my favorite dream stone is? I mean, you know it, but I'm saying because people don't. My favorite dream stone is the Caribbean calcite.
Mm, beautiful.
it's actually a stone that I discovered not that long ago, few months ago, maybe 5 or 6 months ago, and it just helps me to go into dream time so easily.
Yeah.
So my point is, people can try to find their own um, dreamstone,
Mhm.
if you will, uh, which would be whatever crystal that helps you to connect to that state of trust and relaxation that we were talking about, that is so important to embody before we go to sleep and we want to dream work.
For sure. So, what about also just having having the patience and encouragement with yourself? I don't know about you, but I remember when I first started actively engaging with lucid dreaming and my dream space. It took quite a while of working through um, kind of clearing the channels, so to speak, because it was just a lot of maybe just subconscious clutter at first.
Mm, wow, that's a big one, actually. Yes.
Kind of like that messy closet that just you shove everything in and you don't want to deal with it and you'll deal with that another time and you
Hmm,
just keep
hmm.
putting it in this one closet. I feel like that's for me I had to work through cleaning up the closet. Once you open that door.
Cleaning up the closet, I love it.
So just know that it's a good thing. And at some point you knew you were going to have to deal with all that stuff. So just roll up your sleeves, try to have fun with it, try to feel guided and protected still, and
Yeah.
just know that everything that you face and put in its proper place, you've just regained that much more personal empowerment. You've just taken
Hmm.
back that much more of your power. You've just expanded that much more of your growth. So it's all good. It's all good.
And you were talking, 100% agree. And you were talking about the cleaning, uh, about cleaning the closet. and
Mhm.
and I was thinking that I also find important to uh, have our own space. I mean, our bedrooms. Whenever we're doing dream work, to have it clear,
Mhm.
not cluttered.
Yes.
Um, Sometimes when I want to go deep into some topics, when I'm trying to find answers that I know will be complex, I give an extra attention to that. And for example, I would smudge my room.
Mhm.
Sometimes I do a little meditation before I start my dream ritual and set up my intentions. Um, so we can always add layers to, and I find that the more attention and the more importance we give to that moment, the more powerful the dream experience usually is.
Mhm. Well, and I feel like that's really the strongest aspect of your shielding is the level of integrity
Yeah,
of your space.
yeah, yeah.
And for me, that is the top personal thing that you know, request of my high self when I'm going into, um, the dream space is you make sure that the level of integrity of my space while I'm dreaming is top notch. It's where it needs to be
Yeah.
because I want to feel absolute safety when basically, leaving leaving one space and going to another. I want to
Yeah.
feel like it's all good.
Yeah, in the experience, the more we do this, the experiences are more clear too, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Everything that's connected to dreams, um, I mean, because it's not something we're experiencing in our awake life,
Mhm.
we do have to give some special attention in a way that, for example, if I'm starting a practice of meditation, I can very well say that, hey, I'm doing this every other day at noon before I go to lunch because I don't know, maybe that's the moment in my day that I have more free, or for whatever reason I chose that schedule, or if I'm decided to engage more with body activities, sports, and whatever, and I just, I can choose a certain time during my day. I mean, everything we can choose when we're awake is very much part of our awake reality. But when it's connected to dreams, it's not just passing in front of us. It's, unless we give importance and special attention, we're not just going to cross that, it's not like you're meeting someone or you picking a part of your day to do something. It's happening in a time where you're not conscious. So whatever you do around it helps to add energy to the depth of that experience that you will have when you will not be aware
Mhm.
of your, you will not be awake.
Right.
So noting down one's dreams, um, is also give it importance. um, Utilizing these little rituals and exercises we're sharing is give it importance. um, Set intention. Everything that you're giving presence to is the same thing as give importance to. And I know that you and I realized that since we started to share our dreams so often, we started to live our dreams experiences kind of together. I mean,
Mhm.
we will literally have parts of our dreams that are connected to each other's dreams. I mean, I will dream something and have a part of it, and Jackie will dream something else and have the other part of the dream that I started, and vice versa. And we were talking about this the other day and realizing that, hey, look at how much importance we're giving to this dream sharing.
Mhm.
We're talking about this very often, sharing the dreams that we have, where, you know, so because we're doing this, the experience is enhancing, and also the abilities that we're discovering through the dream realms. Like recently, I had this dream this week that felt, because we were talking about dream realms a little bit earlier, and it's connected to this. And I felt like that dream realm, I had never been there. It felt different. It was more complex in a way that was more details, colors, and sensations, and I woke up from that dream. And by the way, during my dream, I remember stopping and thinking, they actually did a pretty good job in this round. It's very well done as a training place. And then I woke up and we talked about this earlier this week, and you actually had a dream where you felt like it was also a different realm,
Mhm.
and I also had that complexity. So I'm talking about this because we can go very, very far with dreams. Whenever we have to start by trying to master our own experiences
Mhm.
regarding, dream time and how we use it for learning, for um, integration, for training, for whatever can help us to evolve and ascend. And we can also do it with other people.
Mhm.
And I find that quite amazing. It's the how far we can go, on exploring a space that can communicate to us
Mm.
in a very deep and original way.
It can be a great collective tool for manifesting.
That's
Um,
that exactly.
yeah,
That was what I
yeah.
was trying to to say. Yeah, you can, and we should certainly um, try to explore that too. But I think we're still learning ourselves, right?
Mhm.
On that level.
Yeah, but I mean, picture that. If collectively we were all seeking to dream a better dream, what that would look like when we were in just dreaming, when we were awake.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at some point, if it's still not going on, there are groups who are utilizing the dream space for the collective.
Oh, that's for sure. That is for sure. That is for sure. And there's another thing too that I think can help um, with the dream work experience. Uh, that is food and teas. Sometimes
Mhm. Sure, herbs.
herbs, yes.
Mhm. Herbs, teas, tinctures.
And it's not like you're gonna have this and you're going to sleep and you're gonna have totally wild experiences. I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not mechanic, but it adds a layer to the importance you're giving to the experience.
For sure. But no matter what, you still have to you still have to clean out the subconscious clutter.
Yeah. That might be the hardest part, right? That might be the hardest part. So I think next episode we could because we said that we would do meditation
Mhm.
to offer to everyone that's listening to our podcast, and maybe it could be a meditation related to facilitating um, this process
Mhm.
of connecting to dream realms where you would do your work and protection exercises, and then listen to the meditation that will help to get your bodies and astral bodies ready
Mhm.
so you can surrender safely, and then just travel into dream time to have whatever experience, either if it's into a subconscious realm or a training realm or whatever other realm we can't name it, but it will be the right experience for you at the now moment where you're having it.
Absolutely.
So just be connected, remain connected. So next time we'll be uploading this meditation here, and that you will be able to use as many times as you want. And should probably set up a link so people can download it too. What do you think?
I was thinking that, yeah, and I was thinking maybe even offering a PDF on it because I know sometimes people prefer those versions too. Maybe the
Okay.
PDF can have a list of crystals and their uses, some
Oh, I like it.
herbal
Good.
tea recommendations.
Let's do this. Okay, so next episode it will be our gift for you, and uh, we can't wait to have you here at our next meeting.
Much love,
And
everyone.
much love, everyone.
Bye.